Once upon a time, it was midnight. The full moon glowed like molten silver, casting its pale light over a lonely road. A man named Reaper walked down that deserted path, not a single soul in sight, only the whisper of the wind. Suddenly, the air grew wild, a storm raged. Thunder cracked open the sky, and heavy raindrops slammed into the earth. From a distance, Reaper noticed an ancient bungalow. Its massive wooden door hung ajar, creaking in the wind. With cautious steps, he entered. A cold gust greeted him inside as if the house itself was alive. He froze. Footsteps echoed around him, soft, distant, yet no one appeared. Holding his breath, he listened. At the center of the hall stood a chilling sight, 12 chairs, arranged in pairs, 6 on each side, coated in dust, yet aligned with eerie precision, shimmering faintly under the flickering light. And above them all, the grand chair, a throne of black wood, gilded with golden carvings, 13 in total, 12 below, 1 above. The number sank into Reaper's mind. His hands went cold. Fear crawled over his skin. Behind the throne hung a painting, Lucifer himself. His eyes gleamed with unholy fire, his wings spread wide. Under the flash of lightning, the painted eyes seemed to pierce directly into Reaper's soul. The storm outside roared louder, illuminating the painting in pulses, as if it were alive. "I'll stay here until the rain stops," Reaper thought. He stepped toward a chair, but before he could sit, a violent gust swept through the hall. Black mist oozed from the painting. A figure emerged, a shadow. Its voice, deep and harsh, slithered into the silence. "Welcome." Reaper froze. His breath caught in his chest. Who are you?" he stammered. The shadow chuckled. Its words echoed like whispers of the damned. "You dare ask me in my own house? Who do you think I am?" Reaper, trembling, clasped his hands together. "Forgive me. My name is Reaper. I only sought shelter from the storm. I was alone on the road." The figure's lips curled into a sinister smile. "I am the guardian of this house. My duty is to protect it." Hearing the word guardian, Reaper's fear eased slightly. Lightning flashed across the hall, shadows dancing on the walls. The guardian's voice dropped, heavy with meaning. This bungalow, these chairs, they hide a secret. If you wish, I can tell you." He leaned closer, whispering, "But on one condition. You must not sit until the story ends." Reaper hesitated, then nodded. The guardian raised his hand. A door appeared on the wall, one that hadn't been there before. Reaper's eyes widened. When did this appear?" The guardian only smirked. "Beware of spiders." A staircase descended into the earth. Cold, heavy air seeped from below. Shadows crawled across the walls, spiders skittering over stone. Reaper followed, heart racing. At the bottom, he found a giant cage. 2 narrow paths stretched from its sides, skeletons dangling from the ceiling above. The air reeked of death. Reaper whispered, "What is this place?" The guardian's smile widened. "We haven't reached that part of the story yet. Follow the right path." Together they entered a prison cell. Dim red light flickered, revealing a chair bound with leather straps. A bench stood before it, lined with rusted tools, some ancient, some freshly stained. Reaper's face drained of color. "This," the guardian said, "is the punishment room. Those who expose our secrets end up here. We do not kill them. We make them wish for death." Reaper trembled as the guardian moved on. The next chamber was different. Behind iron bars, luxurious beds lined the room. Yet in the shadows lurked wolves, dozens of them. Their howls echoed, chilling Reaper's soul. "This," the guardian said calmly, "is the rest room." After punishment, prisoners rest here, and if they fall asleep..." His voice twisted into laughter. The gate opens, and the wolves feast. Reaper's heart pounded as they walked deeper. The final chamber spread before them. A banquet table stood laden with delicacies. But as Reaper approached, he saw the truth. Severed heads arranged among the dishes. A blood-stained guillotine loomed nearby. The stench of old blood filled the air. The Guardian's voice was calm, almost gentle. "This is the destination room. Only the strongest spirits reach here. Only the stubborn survive. Until now." Reaper's voice cracked. "Is this my fate too?" The Guardian laughed, his voice booming. "Not yet. You haven't learned our secret." Reaper demanded, "Then what is all this?" The Guardian's eyes gleamed. "Look at the armchair." Reaper turned and realized they were back at the great cage. "This," the Guardian whispered, "is where secrets are bound." But Reaper had grown bold. He thought it was just a trick, a performance. Without warning, he stepped into the cage. The Guardian's face twisted in fury. "You fool! I told you to follow me, not to take your own path." His body began to shift, skin darkening, eyes blazing red, wings tearing from his back. In seconds, the Guardian was gone. Lucifer stood before him, and yet Reaper did not cower. His hand slipped into his pocket. Slowly, he drew a circle around himself. Lucifer froze. What are you doing?" His voice thundered through the hall. Reaper smiled, his eyes glowing faintly. "Welcome to the Cult of Illuminati." From the circle, thousands of spirits erupted, binding Lucifer, dragging his power into Reaper's form. The hall shook as Reaper's laughter filled the air. His eyes blazed with the same fire as Lucifer's. "Welcome to the Cult of Illuminati," he roared. Outside the cage, 12 hooded figures appeared, holding candles, silent, motionless, waiting, and they bowed to Reaper in Lucifer's form. As Reaper, now cloaked in Lucifer's form, emerged from the dungeon, 12 hooded figures trailed behind him, each carrying a flickering candle. His voice thundered like Lucifer himself, echoing through the hall. His footsteps struck the stone floor with weight, reverberating ominously. When he reached the door, he spoke, slow, heavy, commanding. "Beware of spiders." This time, the words cut through the silence, far darker and more menacing than before. Almost at once, Reaper noticed another doorway ahead. Unlike the others, it was unique, gothic, intricate, glowing faintly with a bluish aura that seemed alive. He narrowed his eyes and stepped forward, but before he could touch the handle, a figure materialized, a smiling demon. His aura was the exact opposite of what Reaper had faced so far. Dressed in regal red and black, charming like a vampire prince, he carried himself with elegance and confidence. His smile, both inviting and unsettling, never left his lips. The demon bowed slightly. His voice was sharp, yet strangely soothing. "Welcome." Reaper's eyes fixed on him. "And you, who are you?" The demon tilted his head, his smile widening. "The room you're about to enter belongs to me. I am..." He extended his hand, lowering his tone. "Deadly Prince." Reaper, weary and unimpressed, simply replied, "Reaper." Deadly Prince gestured gracefully, swinging the door open. A surge of blood-red light spilled into the hall. He smirked. "Enter and see." Inside, the sight struck Reaper like nothing before. The chamber pulsed with life, a massive dance floor, neon lights, a DJ booth thundering with gothic rave music. The bass rattled the walls, syncing with the crimson glow that poured from every corner. At the far end, a wide window overlooked the night. The full moon loomed so close, it seemed to touch the glass, flooding the room in silver light. Near the window sat a grand ornate throne, its carvings glistening in the moon's embrace. But what caught Reaper's eye was not the throne. In the corner, almost hidden, a small, cave-like opening breathed shadows. Every few seconds, glinting eyes, sharp, wolf-like, flickered from within, watching him before vanishing again. His heart pounded, deadly. Prince spread his arms theatrically. "This is my room, the liveliest place in this bungalow." The party room, he twirled once, as if to prove his point, then offered Reaper a sly smile. "Come, dance, let the music carry you." The beat slowed, lights flashing softer, as Deadly Prince pulled Reaper onto the floor. Their movements were close but tense, the glow of red and blue painting their faces. Between the beats, Reaper muttered, "Strange, such a grand room, and yet no one here feels real. No one permanent deadly." Prince's smile flickered, just for a moment. His eyes softened with an old grief. "I was always the cheerful one," he began. His voice, quieter now, carried the weight of memory. On the outside, people saw a prince who never stopped celebrating. But inside, I was hollow. I needed company. Every night, a new girl, fun, laughter, and then their blood. He chuckled bitterly, as though mocking himself. Drinking blood kept me young. Immortal, in a way, until one day she came. Reaper remained silent, listening. She taught me what love really meant. For the first time, I thought I could change. We grew close, but fate, his voice trembled. Fate tore us apart. She was my only link, returning to me once a year, through wine, through alcohol. That was our curse. His smile faded entirely now, but 1 year she didn't come. She betrayed me, left me waiting. And in that betrayal, I tasted the pain I had given to countless others. The DJ's beat faded into the background. The silence pressed heavy between them. Reaper's expression softened slightly, but curiosity quickly overtook it. And what lies beyond this place? This party. Deadly Prince's demeanor flipped instantly. He twirled again, his grin sharp and playful. "Oh, this?" He gestured toward the ceiling. "Just a preview. The true stage lies upstairs. The king's room, my father's." His eyes glittered with a dangerous mix of pride and fear. "Security is very tight." He leaned in, whispering almost playfully, "You'll see for yourself if you get there." Reaper's curiosity burned brighter, but before he could respond, a sharp sound sliced through the music, a faint howl echoing from the cave in the corner. Deadly Prince immediately grabbed Reaper's arm, pulling him forward with sudden urgency. Reaper didn't resist. His attention had already shifted, his eyes locked on the throne by the moonlit window. Slowly, he walked toward it, ignoring the dance, ignoring the music. He sat. Instantly, the room shifted. The dance floor dissolved. The lights died. The DJ vanished. In their place, darkness spread, glowing red veins crawling across the walls. And once again, 12 hooded figures appeared before him, their candles flickering faintly in the suffocating silence. Reaper's smile spread as he whispered, "Welcome to the Cult of Illuminati." His voice echoed, filling the chamber as shadows closed in. Reaper rose slowly from the moonlit chair. Without a glance behind, he pushed the heavy door open and stepped into the main hall once more. The 12 dusty chairs still stood like silent sentinels, bathed in silver light. The hall was vast, echoing with nothing but his footsteps. At the far end, the black and gold throne loomed high. From it, 2 staircases branched, one curving left, one right. Reaper turned back to glimpse the door of Deadly Prince's chamber. But there was nothing, just an empty wall. He scowled, muttering under his breath, then set his boots on the right staircase. Each step echoed, the silence growing heavier with every beat. At the top stood a massive door, ancient and immovable, adorned with strange carvings and runes. Reaper pulled, pushed, even whispered incantations. Nothing. Frustrated, he hissed, "Deadly Prince, what game have you trapped me in?" The instant he spoke, a lock clicked. The door groaned open with a screech that rattled the hall. Without hesitation, Reaper entered. A long corridor stretched ahead, cloaked in shadow. Opposite the entrance, an old clock sat frozen on an ornate wardrobe. Its hands stopped forever at 11:11. There was only one path left. Reaper followed. The walls lined with Gothic pillars, faces carved in the stone stared down at him, their hollow eyes seeming to follow his every step. His heart pounded, yet his pace never slowed. At the corridor's end loomed another grand door, regal, ominous. Before it, goblins crouched, counting piles of gold. Suddenly, knights materialized from thin air, steel blades crossing to bar his path. The goblins turn, their voices rough and mocking. "No gold, no entry." "Who are you, stranger?" Reaper searched his pockets. Nothing. With a faint, weary smile, he asked, "Is there another way?" The largest goblin grinned crookedly. "Answer our riddles." Veil and the blades fall. The knights raise their swords. The first goblin spoke. "I speak without a mouth. I hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Reaper chuckled softly, his voice echoing. "An echo?" The knights slammed their blades into the ground. The goblins burst into laughter. The knights lowered their swords, stepping aside. "Your path is clear." Reaper pushed the colossal door open. Darkness rushed out like a tide, carrying a chill that sank into his bones. He stepped inside. Knight statues lined the walls, armored, lifeless, or waiting. At the center of the chamber lay an ancient stone grave, mist swirling low around it. To one side, a massive window overlooked a sprawling graveyard, the moon shining so brightly it illuminated rows of crooked tombstones. Beside the window stood a marble bust of a woman. Its craftsmanship was perfect, too perfect. Its eyes seemed to glimmer, as if it could blink at any moment. Behind her stretched a grand bed draped in crimson velvet. Patterns centuries old decorated its surface. At its foot lay a monstrous hyena, chained yet alive. 3 mouths breathed in unison, steam rising in the moonlight. Its eyes glowed, watching Reaper, silent, knowing. Reaper's breath quickened, the weight of the room pressing down on him, and then the velvet shifted. Something rose. A figure, regal yet horrifying, crimson eyes burning, teeth sharp with blood. A crownless monarch, ancient and immortal, the Vampire King. Reaper staggered back, boots echoing against stone. The hyena growled low, its chains rattling. The statue's eyes seemed sharper now, alive in the pale glow. The Vampire King said nothing. He stood in silence, his presence heavier than 1,000 words. Moonlight poured over him, highlighting his burning eyes. The only sounds were the clinking of chains and the monster's breath. Reaper's heartbeat slowed, not in fear, but in recognition. This was true power. When the king finally spoke, his words tore through the air like blades. Each syllable stabbed into Reaper's ears until blood trickled from them. Instinctively, Reaper bowed low, not in surrender, but in respect, a gesture to show he meant no harm. The Vampire King stepped forward, resting a cold hand on his shoulder. With one finger, he drew blood from Reaper's ear and licked it. Then, in a blur, he shifted, his face, his form, until he was a perfect reflection of Reaper. His voice was no longer deep or ancient. It was Reaper's own. I am the Vampire King. No threat, no menace, just a mirror speaking. He leaned closer, whispering with crimson fire in his eyes. What you see is not truly you. Reaper froze. His throat tightened. Then who? The king's gaze shifted to the corner. The chained beast snarled, its 3 mouths trembling. My children. His voice cracked into a whisper. They were cursed, bound into one body, forced into this form. That hyena you see is my son's. He turned toward the marble bust. And that is my wife. The Vampire Queen Reaper collapsed to his knees, trembling. The king towered over him, voice like ice. Now, it is time for you to show your true face. Reaper's eyes widened, his voice breaking. My face. The Vampire King's voice cut through the silence, cold, calm, commanding. Come with me. Time is short, I followed in silence, my footsteps trailing his. We exited the chamber. The world outside had changed. The goblins, the knights, the frozen clock, all gone. Only darkness stretched infinitely, thick as dust, centuries old. At the heart of the hall, the grand throne loomed once more. From it, the king led me toward the left staircase. The climb was endless, the top swallowed in shadow. Only the whisper of the wind guided us. Without looking back, the Vampire King said, "Be patient until midnight." We reached the final step. Suddenly, the mansion groaned. The ground trembled beneath us. A bell rang. Midnight. Each toll shook the bungalow as though the entire place were collapsing in on itself. The air split, reality shattering. Something ancient was ending. And then, a doorway ripped open in the darkness itself. The Vampire King shoved me forward. Inside, I fell into the void of a room. He followed, slamming the door behind us. Before me, the full moon. For the first time, its radiance touched me directly. No mirrors, no shadows, no barriers, only me and the moon. As its light consumed me, my body convulsed. Bones cracked, skin split. My breath faltered. I could not scream. Every cell awakened at once. My mask slipped away, falling to the floor like dead skin. Images tore through my mind in rapid flashes. The 12 chairs and the towering throne. The punishment room, leather belts and sharpened tools. The haunted chamber where wolves howled. The bloody feast, severed heads, the dripping blade. Deadly Prince's chaotic party, the DJ booth, the cave of eyes, the Vampire King's chamber, the grave, the statue, the 3-mouthed hyena. Each memory burned, flashing like a reel of forgotten film, replaying in reverse. The more I remembered, the less human I became. A guttural roar tore from my throat. Bones burst. Hair sprouted across my flesh. Nails warped into jagged claws. My eyes burned yellow. And then the human was gone. The mask, the disguise, the illusion, gone. What stood beneath the moonlight was me. My true form. A werewolf. The full moon shone directly upon my beastly frame, as though some ancient seal had been broken. Reaper was no longer a man. He was the wolf beneath. His chest heaved, each breath carrying centuries of rage and memory. The air filled with the raw scent of blood and stone. In the corner, the Vampire King sat upon a cold slab of stone. His gaze was steady, his expression calm, as if he had seen this countless times before. His words were steady, echoing like a prophecy. There are no immortals here. except for us two. This cycle repeats every year. You wander these halls like a photograph in motion, endlessly reliving what once was. This place is the remnant of the Cult of Illuminati. The werewolf lowered himself beside the vampire king. Together, they gazed at the moon, hanging impossibly close, glowing only for them. No battles, no rituals, no screams, only silence, only memories. Two beings sat together, cursed, eternal, bound by memory. No sound, no noise, only the moon, only the wind, only the memories of demons. And so, we found it. The truth within the Cult of Illuminati.